Buenos dias, Gunners Collective TV. Back at it? You already know. Like a motherfucking smack addict. Bye. In a menudo style and direct fashion, we're going to get straight into the content of the day. But before we do, let's hit that like and subscribe button. Ding. Put your notification bell on all so that way you're directed in the direction of the dope content I'm kicking. And I highly appreciate all the support, man. We're going up on this channel, and it's all because of you. And for that, I can say I'm very humbled, and I'm very much so appreciative, man. So thank you very much, man. And what was that? A cucaracha flying around? I don't know what it was, right? But I plead the fifth. So trip out on this. I keep getting asked this same question over and over again, so I thought I'd answer it finally. And it's how I felt about Bozo pulling up to A-Town, Atwater, right? Which is in Merced County, which is predominantly, always has been for years, man, decades now, an upstate South Side Iran town, right? Now, don't get it twisted. There is a small establishment of Norteños in A-Town, in Atwater, North Side Atwater. They're there, right? They've been there for a while now. But the majority of that town has always been A-Town. And I remember when A-Town first became established, I remember as a young kid, you know, I actually had a primo that was involved heavily into the establishment of the Southsiders there. And Sal and Max Flores, two well-known individuals, man, that had moved from Southern California and ingrained themselves into Atwater, man, and it exploded. You know, the Southern movement took over right there. You know, that was known as one of the Southern towns where they were moving, right? There's actually been RICOs that have happened recently. There's been a lot of things that have happened to try to shut A-Town down. And just doesn't happen, right? Atwater is just Southsider. There's a heavy presence there, and that's it. So, you know, I've been asked a lot lately in the lives and just in general, man, about Bozo. Now, Bozo's a controversial figure, okay? Bozo is one of the only Southsiders I've ever seen from Southern California who has a distaste or a fucking undying hatred for Norteños from Northern California, right? And I don't know what it is. Like I said, I haven't been able to key on it. I've done my homework, but I can't figure out why he hates Norteños so much. Why every time, for some reason, he does any type of podcast, interview, commercial, shops at Remate, whatever he does, he always has to disrespect Norteños, or at least, you know, try to make them less than, constantly. You know, and for someone, you know, in the game, for someone who feels a certain type of way about a certain people, you know, then you shouldn't even mention them. They should be non-existent to you. They should be, you know, second fiddle to your first fiddle, right? That's how I've always been taught. Like, if these guys pose no threat, if they're not an issue, then why continue to make them an issue? You know, but hey, to each man their own. If that's how he, you know, gets his rocks off, or he feels a certain way about these guys, then he's going to keep saying their names. He's going to keep fucking disrespecting. And he's disrespected to a point now where he's got the attention of the Norteño movement, of the Norteño cause. And whatever he chooses to believe, that Northerners up in Northern California ain't about the business, or that they ain't with this program, bro, he's very, very confused, right? Everybody's Mexican. Everybody's with the business. Everybody's with the program. You know, you can't speak on another side if you're not from there, if you've never lived there and understand the rhythm of what's going on in them streets. Okay, there's a lot of people that like to disrespect the Northerners and think that it's soft or ain't shit happening. You know, bodies are getting carried out of the Northern California streets every single day. Okay, all you got to do is ask the upstaters, you know, the Southside movement. They'll tell you whether they're doing it or they're getting it done to them, man. It's happening. Mexicanos ain't no joke in Northern California, the same way they ain't no joke in Southern California. Now, we understand that Southern California is the beginning and the end, right? They're the homeland, you would say, of gangs, right? That's where it started. That's where it all began. And a lot of people, regardless of what they say or not in Northern California, do model themselves off of LA and Southern California. Those in the surrounding areas, everybody models themselves off of LA, whether it's black or brown or white. It's just the way it is, right? But Northern California is with the programs too. So Bozo feeling the way he feels, he's got the attention of Northern California rappers, And I'm sure Northern California gangsters in the streets. Whatever, right? He's from Southern California. He doesn't go up north much, so it's not like he can talk safely from a distance and everything's good. Just like vatos that are up north rappers can talk safely from a distance, and that's what's up, But lately they've been saying that there's supposed to be some mega super concert happening in Atwater where Bozo's supposed to pull up, right? Being that he's talked a lot of shit, and being what's happened in the past in Northern California in the history when it comes to Southern California rappers, man, it's a dangerous situation. Do I think he should go, pull up to Atwater? First of all, let me give you the history of Atwater. Atwater is this big. Okay, it's a small little town. So they don't even have a venue, like a stadium or anything. So he's either going to play at the high school, the bingo hall, at Ramate, like I said. I don't know, man. A food court. I don't know. Maybe in front of Walmart. They're going to shut Walmart down. There's not too many venues there in Atwater for him to play at. They don't have a fairgrounds. They do have Castle Air Force Base, but I mean, is he going to perform in between a haunted plane and a prison? I don't know. What they got going on there. Maybe he got hired to play a quinceañera on Determined Street. So that's what's going to be, But, from what I'm hearing, this is supposed to be this big old Southsider concert going on and Bozo's going to perform. Now, that's antagonizing a situation that's already antagonized. People are asking me, hey, do you think the Norteños are going to pull up and make it ugly for them? I mean, if they were, I couldn't speak on that, right? That's not my business. I'm not going to alert the authorities to what's happening. There's plenty of people doing that already. I'll say this from an outside perspective. His best bet would be to leave it alone, to not pull up. See, from what I'm hearing, this was some concert that was supposed to happen, that was going to be lightly promoted, and only those that needed to know were going to know what was going on, right? But somewhere along the line, just like what's been happening lately, is social media is an animal. You can't hide nothing from social media. Once people hear about it, they start throwing it out there, alerting everyone, letting everyone know. Someone put it on Facebook or whatever. Flyers went out, and then now everyone knows that Bozo's on this particular date at this particular time is going to be in A-Town, right? Atwater. Now, albeit, like I said, there's a heavy presence of Southerners there. So if he was able to make it into the town, yeah, he's going to have soldados with him. There's going to be vatos that got his back, that are on the same page with them. But Atwater is surrounded by Norteños, okay, who've never really tripped like that. I mean, there was war back in our days, A-Town, Merced, they'd come through, we'd come through, shit would crack off. But it was never, I'm going to be honest with you, as far as what the Norteños thought about Atwater, it was never really a threat. Like, let them do their thing, man. We ain't tripping off no one, we ain't tripping off them. That's kind of how we felt back then. When we felt like, let's go smack some shit, then we'll take a little cruise. And vice versa. Don't get it twisted, they were putting in their work too, right? But it was never like, oh, we need to go over there and just smack all their shits, right? It was never that serious. A lot of them guys we knew from school, or they were related, they were family members and shit. So it's just a little bit different, right? But with Bozo saying so many derogatory things that he said about the Norteños lately, right? He's left a sour taste in their mouth. People are tripping like, hey, this shit leaking, this information leaking, do you think vatos are going to take the initiative, or they're going to get action at him? And I could say, I don't know, man. I don't know. I think that law enforcement would be expecting some bullshit like that. So it's a lose-lose situation. I mean, if you can let one vato get under your skin enough to put a gang of your soldados, a gang of your homeboys at risk of being incarcerated or even worse, then that's a bad move, right? In leadership, you have to understand, man, it's not worth one dude, to sacrifice many. You'll catch them. You'll catch them when you catch them, or you won't. That's part of the game, right? When you let a person get under your skin that much and you're willing to risk the well-being of your gente over one dude who's just a shit talker, who really is not with the program like that, then you're in the wrong more than he is. That's just the way I feel. Now, again, Atwater is surrounded by Norteños who have never really tripped, because I know people are going to say, well, if they're surrounded, why are they still there established? Because they were allowed to be there and established. Believe me, man, anyone that's surrounded by their enemiga could get them at any time. That goes for North and South, period, right? But it's not that serious. See, gangbanging is by choice, and it changes one day to the next. You might hate these motherfuckers this day, and tomorrow you guys might have a truce, or you guys might be cool again. It's the way gangbanging is, man. It's up and down. You know, a lot of these guys that are involved, especially nowadays. See, back in our days in the 90s, it was gangbanging 101. It was all about smacking shit and getting locked up. That's what we were striving for. Motherfuckers didn't run from the scene. They wanted to get caught. They wanted to go to jail. That was part of gangbanging. That was part of the next step, you know? Hey, you'd get out like, damn, what happened? I just got the pinta, homie, right? Like you felt like you gained respect because of that. See, nowadays, motherfuckers is like, hell nah, right? They're trying to get away because they'll cancel Christmas for you forever. It's one and done now. The laws have changed. Things have changed. They're either going to let you right out or lock your ass right up. And that's it. And so people are like, nah. They're into getting money, getting the bag, getting the clout. The agenda has changed, even within the politics of the gangs, right? People want other shit now other than just a notoriety for being that one. Being that one don't count that much, right? So, you know, it's going to have to be a little bit more incentive. So, you know, will Bozo go to Atwater? Will there be any fucking drama? Now, traditionally in Northern California, there is drama at these concerts. Not all the time, but we've heard about some of the history. You know, people like Little Rob that have went to concerts and got like bottles thrown at them and had to get, you know, wear bulletproof vests on stage. He's even admitted that, you know. The police department had to surround him and take him off stage. There's other incidences where, you know, Kid Frost back in the days came to Northern California and tried to tie a red rag and a blue rag together and was hit in the head with 40s and booed off stage as well. And, you know, there's groups that actually go to these concerts just for that, what they feel is putting in work. The lighter shade of brown incident, you know, in Merced that sparked off a little melee and, you know, it was on a Sunday afternoon, right? And then, of course, the Stockton incident with Little Rob where a gang of Norteños got together and got off on the upstaters, you know, and there was a melee there. No winners there, just a whole bunch of people locked up and scratched up for no reason. You know, a bunch of brown guys fighting. You know, I know how it goes. And then, of course, there's been incidences quite recently in Santa Cruz where GB and I think it was Acito went to go perform, or maybe it was Young Gigs. I think it was Acito went to go perform in Santa Cruz. Again, the venue was leaked to the public. And that's what's fucked up. We're going to get to that right now. But it was leaked to the public, and supposedly a gang of Southerners came and they shut the concert down. These guys weren't able to perform because of the threat of violence. And not GB and Acito decided to jam, but, you know, the promoters decided, hey, let's shut this down before it gets tricky. It gets real tricky, especially in a city like Santa Cruz that got some big upstate presence, right? There's a lot of Norteños too. Don't get it twisted, but it's just, you know, before it got real tricky, they just shut it down. And of course, there was a lot of guys that went to the internet bragging, we shut that down, we shut that down. And everyone's going to feel how they feel. That's how people get their rocks off, man, by doing things like this. You know, you can't just go out and have a good time anymore and see your favorite rapper's favorite rapper. It's going to be all bad. Now, you know, in these situations, these northern and southern situations, it's kind of fucked up. And this is why I say, you know, when you're gangbanging through music or you're projecting that energy, that's what you're involved in, whether it's Rico Too Smooth, Lefty Gunplay, when you're a certified stepper, the world's most famous gangbanger, whatever it is, you got an audience that's this big. You're feeding your gente, your audience. Okay, everyone else don't give a fuck about you. You can only get so big. You're alienating yourself from a bag, right? And that's cool. Some people, the cause and what they're a part of means more to them than their rap career, than their bag, than their family, I guess, you know? I know, I was once part of it. It meant a whole lot to me too. But deep down inside, them guys have to look in the mirror and they're like, fuck, man, I could be making a whole bunch of money, but I'm losing out because there's places they can't go do concerts at. You know, there's places that we'll say that on the West Coast, right? You can go to the East Coast, Midwest, all that. People don't know who the fuck you are, right? And that's the cool part about there is people don't really know who you are, so you're not going to get a bag like that. Ain't nobody in Nebraska pulling up to a Lefty Gunplay concert or a Rico Too Smooth concert. They don't know these guys. These are West Coast artists, right? But everyone on the West Coast, you're known But the guys from up north can't go down south because they're not going to get no love like that. The guys from up down south can't go up north because they're definitely not going to get no love like that. So it limits you. It limits you to the, your bag size. It limits you and hinders you in a lot of things. But that's life. If you want to play that gangster role image, if you want to be a gangster rapper. See, I haven't even heard them words anymore. Gangster rap. I remember back with NWA, DJ Quick, even Spice One, all these different guys. They were considered gangster rappers, right? Ice-T, Cube, all that. That kind of has went away now. There's no longer gangster rap. Now it's just like Chicano rap and black rap and trap rap and mumble rap and whatever it is, right? But the old school gangster rap or fucking, R&B, man, we don't even got R&B groups anymore. What the fuck happened to Boyz II Men, right? Jodeci, where are you? Now they're playing at a 90s store at your local casino, right? It's just what it is. I ain't gonna lie. My Theo went the other day to go see TLC, and it was TLC, and I think it was Color Me Bad. He was trying to sex his old lady up. You are so fine. That motherfucker was in there, baby, 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 minus the left eye, right? So he was doing his thing, but what I'm saying is our era's over, and we understand that there's a new era. But shit gets ugly. It's getting real tricky because these kids, man, they're not playing. They're trying to go to concerts and kill some shit. Now, as far as Bozo going to Atwater, do I think he should? No. Absolutely not. Especially with his name buzzing the way it is, I don't know if he thinks that Atwater is like mini LA and he's going to be protected, but it's really not. Like I said, there's no big venue. I wouldn't even begin to tell you where he's going to play at. What auditorium. Like I said, the biggest thing they have there is the high school. So I could see him quite possibly being Atwater Falcon for the day. But, or playing up under the water tower at the park. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe they built something since I've been there. It's been a long time. I know they built a new Panda Express. So there you go. You can play in the Panda Express parking lot. It's not what he thinks it is. And again, man, because it was leaked to the people, law enforcement already knows, So it's not like this is going to be the spot where the Norteños are going to run up, and I think they're smart enough to understand the situation. It ain't that serious over one guy. But, things like this are going to continue to happen. You can't talk shit on the internet and disrespect people and then expect to be able to pull up wherever you want. Okay, you get no freebies in Northern or Southern California. Nobody does. That's why a lot of these guys that are like going to No Jumper from up north, facts, right? They're not announcing their presence before they go. They're not saying, hey, I'm going to be fucking in LA tomorrow, man. Pull up for a signing or a few hugs, right? It's a few shoulder shrugs. Hell no. They're going, doing these fucking interviews and getting on down the road. And then later on it gets released. And Vatos are like, fuck, we could have caught him, right? Well, it's the same thing in Northern California. You see a lot of these rappers, the homies are up there. They're just doing it. If you're respected in the game, if you get respect and you treat others with respect, yes, you'll be embraced and respected, If you're someone who talks shit like Bozo constantly about the Norteño movement and doesn't just disrespect individuals on an individual basis, but basically goes out of his way to disrespect all Norteños. Shit, I'm not even a Norteño anymore, and I feel disrespected when this Vato talks. It's cold, right? He be making it look like Norteños like just are the scum of the earth or the worst thing ever created. Like they're just a secondary gang. But here's the thing, man. He tells you stories about stabbing them and doing this and doing that. It's like, bro, damn well, Bozo, that shit doesn't happen in prison like that all the time, bro. Damn well if you would have just got off on a vato. He told a story about getting off on a vato a couple of days before he was supposed to parole and picking up however many more months or years, right? Bro, that shit would have set some shit off. You're not just going to stab a Norteño in prison and just walk away from it and get away with it. It's all good. That shit would have set the whole yarda off. Straight up. Facts, right? Just like if a Southerner gets stabbed by anybody, it sets the whole yarda fucking will lay it down. It's going down, right? Facts. So I didn't quite believe that story. I believe that was just another one of his ways to make Norteños look bad or like losers. Like they lose all the time, right? I've been involved in a lot of shit. And albeit the numbers weren't always in my favor, man. Bozo wouldn't even be able to walk. Take your clown shoes off and try to walk in mines for a second, right? And I'm still active. It's easy for you to be active, bro. Very easy. Very easy. We don't even want to go there, right? It's very easy for you to be active when you're doing nothing, right? Or you're not obligated to do anything because you're not one of them guys. But here's the true story. Oh man, there's been plenty of times I was outnumbered, bamboozled into thinking it was all good. And I'm gonna tell some stories on it pretty soon, man. One in particular. Um, and I could say, man, the respect that I had for the Southerners and the respect they had for me saved my life in a gang of situations, right? Those are real dudes, man. Not because they looked out for me, but because they were real gangster in their willings and dealings and their professionalism. Bozo ain't that. You know, so do a lot of people want to smack his shit and don't like him? Probably. I'm not saying for sure because that's not my business. But I'm saying probably. You know, he keeps opening his mouth. Someone's going to close it. You know, you can't just expect for this guy. And then maybe he will go to Atwater. He'll slide in and it's going to be all good. Nothing's going to happen. He's going to brag about it. Them fools are weak. Them fools are weak. I went up there and no one did nothing. Whatever. You know, it doesn't make you tough to tell tales, right? What makes you tough in life, man, is leading by example and leading your homies away from the drama, not towards it. Anyways, that's my take on it. Do I think anything's going to happen to him? I would hope not. Just based upon, you know, I don't want to see a bunch of people caught up or hurt over one dude's fucking bigoted ways and lies, right? I'm gonna tell you the truth, man. You know, I'm not into the north-south shit as far as, you know, picking sides. I don't do that, man. I got a lot of homeboys that are Southerners. Probably got more Southern homeboys than I do Northern homeboys, I was a true believer in that cause, man. And I'm gonna tell you right now, that fool be lying and shit. He be making it look all bad, like Northerners just ain't never been about nothing. And I know there's gonna be a whole bunch of people that get on here. They haven't. They're weak, right? But you got a letter next to your name. You don't ever show your face. You know what I mean? Come on now, bro. Let's be real. Everybody's got hitters. Real life, man. You don't want to be walking down them streets, man, because you'll meet a monster. Anyways, with that being said, I got another banger double up coming on this channel. 2 of them coming on the other channel. Make sure you tap into the collective clips. You already know what it is, man. Show some support, show some love. Thank you guys so much for all the support I'm getting right here on this channel, man. I appreciate it. Let's get this motherfucker popping and cracking again. You know what it is, man. Is Bozo going to A-Town? He better not. You know, A-Town could be Nay-Town. You know, he don't need that. Thumbs up or thumbs down. Heavy's going to be the head that wears the crown. I'm going to continue to strive for what I honestly and truly believe in, and that's the betterment of all people, man. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate all the support. The gun.